Hello. So I hope you. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? कैसे हैं आप सब लोग? कैसे हैं आप लोग? ठीक ठाक हैं? और मैं भी ठीक ठाक हूँ. Sorry. Today we will discuss, and we have decided to discuss the topic which is quite obvious nowadays. Today we will discuss about love and poetry. Basically, first I will try to elaborate what is love, anyways. I'm not going to discuss the scenario and really what it feels for everyone, but I try to compensate and really try to discuss what it really mean to be defined in some kind of words. Love, and then we will discuss about the poetry, and we will discuss some of the quotations which really comfort us when we feel the comforting expression which usually soothe us. So first we will decide and discuss the basic scenario of love. Now, as for the love is concerned, if we discuss first, we should we show that we are discussing love. Then how it felt. A simple example, basic example is that if I'm listening a good song, I will definitely uh, feel for that. I really feel myself falling in that song, and I will definitely uh, f- keep it to myself. And I usually said that I'm the victim. I find myself going in that song and crying with a person who is making me cry inside song. So that is the thing that makes me love with that song, because most of the time then I will start it to follow and listen that song. But when I said that I only like that song, it usually means that liking is different. Liking has um, liking is different. As for the liking is concerned, it's basically yourself. For example, if I like some potato, if I like some ice cream, I will eat. But if I have another choice, I will definitely leave that, and I will eat another thing. It means I just it means that yes, I am happy with that. But if I have the choice, then I will go with another thing. So it is a like, and I will try to define more properly. If I have coffee to take and I have tea to take, so I like tea. I like tea. So at that time, I will definitely take tea because of my choice. And if I like, I have two choices. Like I have two choices in taking tea and coffee. Definitely, I will take tea because I prefer tea on coffee because I don't like to take tea. So, what is if I relate it to love? There are two choices in taking coffee and tea. I will say I love tea. For example, it means that I usually fall for tea. I usually uh, feel myself comfort in tea, taking tea. I usually be happy in taking tea. And on the other hand, yeah, I like coffee, but I will not take because I am not falling for coffee. The another thing which makes me realize that how can I differ myself in love and liking, and how can we define that or we can explain that other person is not interested in love. It is another thing. If you have two choices, it is not love. You fall for only one choice, you take it seriously. For example, I said, if I said that I love the writings of Thomas Hardy, is a great English, he was a great English literature, romantic Victorian writer. So it means that I usually prefer Thomas Hardy and his masterpiece writings on other writers because I love his writing. It love means that I really feel that when I supposed to read his masterpieces, novels, his poetry, his admirable verses, which really makes me tragically fall to the age where I find myself talking to myself, murmuring to myself, and discerning life. And on the other hand, yeah, I like Charles Dickens' writing. It's especially his um, novel Great Expectation. But I don't expect that kind of thing which I expect from Thomas Hardy at that time. For example, I expect darkness all over, sadness all over, tragedy in place. Sometimes I express and feel gratitude. And yeah, that's why I feel to read the writings and proud for myself on Charles Dickens. uh, if I said that, okay, I will quote an example. Once I have a student who has asked that, who asked me that, Sadi, can you elaborate what is pain, and how can we find that a person who has learned he's really learning, and a person you said that who has suffered from pain, you said pain is everything, so is not learning anyways. So how can we understand that a person who has learned from pain, who has suffered from pain, is still not learning? So I said, simple. A person who really falls, a person who really falls on the ground, and in case he couldn't uh, support himself at this moment, it means he will definitely, or she will definitely learn from his mistakes. But if a person who really fall down and just for a second, I mean, it means just fall to some extent, he will not learn at that moment. He will not learn that way. The person who is really feeling pain, who has addicted to, is learning. So there's a difference between, no? You can see another point that people said that we love tea. How can you say that you love tea? For example, if a cup of tea is boiling, you will definitely fall for that fragrance, you have a smell of boiling tea. But when the tea, you will be served tea, you will start taking it. That that taste will not help us or help you to define your feeling still, because you have taken, and before taking you have different feelings. And if the person who is finally accepting the other person in his or her love will will face some consequences, because that after that time, after that incident, after that happening, after accepting, that feeling will definitely be sometimes gone, because the person who has accepted will not able to give after that acceptance enough time, enough care, because now he or she knows, yeah, that person is that person is really watching. So this is the difference between liking and love. If a person is admiring you, it doesn't mean he love you. It means is he or she has trying to elaborate you, is liking you, has a feeling for you, and he or she believes that you are doing good. It is liking, anyways. So if I relate it to music, for example, I said I like that. I said like that music. I like that song of Sonu Nigam. For example, if I said, I like songs, I like musical touches. So before explaining, I have to understand the meanings, the depths of music, the real music, the real flavor, the real touches, the real melancholy romanticism, what the musician or what the composer has defined, has introduced before understanding that concept. So, um, if a composer is making some kind of soothing, comforting music, playing for you, or he or she has introduced it for you, it means that he or she has started a new trend, which will make people fall for his personality, fall for the dimensional taste, and definitely his music will give us the taste which will really matter. So you can ask your questions if you want. I have my WhatsApp number. You can also contact me on my WhatsApp number. It's +923 689 1696. I repeat it again. You can directly ask your question, and you can um, you can request me, or you can suggest me a good topic, English topic. Definitely, it's a page of English people most of the time. But on the other hand, I've just started a novel. It doesn't mean that it's a page of Urdu or Hindi language. It just means that basically the motive of my page is to introduce English genre and to promote English literature and to promote my skills. And so let me tell you one thing another. There is no good definition of love. There is no enough good uh, you can explain it, because everyone has or his or her own portrait, own factions, and own admirations, experiences related to their own imagination, and definitely they can discuss their own with their own consequences. So now we will move towards the poetry. I try to define love, and you can have your questions on that inbox as well, and you can put it to myself as well if you want, and we will discuss it further, because it's a topic which can be discussed for hours and hours. It will take hours and hours. So everyone has his or her own point of view or own approach relating to the love concept. uh since I am a blind man, you can see I can't see anything, so I can detect and I can have my own aptitudes, my own definitions, my own imaginations. I have written many stories on my taste, my imagination. How can I imagine a girl or my mistress? So basically, my own imagination. Everyone has his own imagination. A person who can see own imagination of taking love or taking his sweetheart or his portrayal or his own. Now, love after that will definitely move to the another point of view. It will be going in another direction, that is in poetry. So when love will cross and will definitely start falling in the dimension of poetry, it will be for us to understand because in composition, in rhythmic tones in the small exponents, in the small, you can say, passages, stanzas that are called most of the time stanzas, sonnets, we can easily understand that poetry will speak, and poetry speak to the hearts. It will not speak only to the one person like me. So giving your love the dominant, definitely is you can, it will be dominated in the form of poetry. Yeah, you can say that in the short stories, definitely I will portrait, and in a novella, a small novel, that is in Hindi or we can call afsana. And novel will definitely help us to understand the concept of transforming and forming love anyways. But uh, since you can see in poetry, a poet try and sets his or her own imagination of taking things in the dimensional approaches. You can see that in 1800 and sorry, in starting of the 18th century, you can see that we have the romantic poets, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, one of the great romanticist writers, and William Wordsworth, the nature loving writer, and they were the first writers who have developed and introduced a poetic small passage, that is lyrical ballads, a passage to the lyrical ballads. Well, that is a really a sequence of many poems. Most of the poems are of you can see in that book, small book of William Wordsworth, is Sister Dorothy. No, yeah, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. One poem that is after, yeah, ancient Myanmar. Ancient Myanmar, you can see that, and Kiblai Khan is another poem which has written by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, explaining his own imagination of relating things, describing the story of the king, his kingdom, his palace. So, so another point we will discuss today and now, that is most of the poems are romantic, as you can find in daily life. Most of the modern poets or poetesses are romantic because the tragedy has a, you can say, bad consequences on the impact, which the impact plays on viewers, that so it will definitely play an different role if relating in your experiences in a romantic way, but in explaining that tragic unfolding stories and the portrayal of the society with the sad demise is definitely another thing. But the modern writers usually are not ready to understand, or you're not ready to uh, understand, or not ready to take it. You can say, yeah, they are not ready to, they are not willing to understand that sadness. Uh, they believe that sadness will definitely uh, play a very bad role, negative role, you can say, on their nature, on the natural environment as well. But in my point of view, tragedy is not that. Tragedy will definitely make you uh, realize that everything is not going great sometimes. We have to move, we have to change the things. There's sadness, there's happiness. Sometimes we can find relief in sadness because it will directly help us. For example, if a person has a very bad character and was in the drama, and you can say novella, or you can say in novel, and he has or she has affairs with many girls or boys, but after at the end of the day he tried to be honest, persistent, good, but he will suffer, and he will suffer. So it doesn't mean that it's a child play. He has to suffer because he has really destroyed the story. He has really played a villain role. So he has to be punished to keep the audience realize that every person who has done wrong will definitely be punished. So most of the time, I don't believe that tragedy plays a very bad role. Point that sadness, people think that sadness plays a very bad role, negative role, if the ending is negative, if the ending is not up to the task, up to the standards, up to the taste of the people who believe that, yeah, that this drama, this story has to be ended with a good note. How can we? How can it be? It can't be. Because sometimes we have to teach the audience that every day is not a Sunday. If a person has a very negative role all the way, and how can he be good at the day? Yes, he can be good in the eyes of God, in the eye of the Allah, you can say Bhagwan. But in the eyes of the audience, we have to make him victim. We have to make him or her realize that you have done wrong. You are really spoiling the party. You have really damaged the role. You have really damaged the character. You have really makes us depressed. So he has to be punished. He has to be humiliated. He has to be uh, taught a lesson. It doesn't mean the tragic end is always a negative aspect. uh, so again, in coming to the reality, you can see that romantic plays are most of the time common nowadays. Romantic poetry. I don't find anything good nowadays. For example, I said a kiss will explain everything. A kiss will makes us realize that we really love each other. Oh my God, this is really pathetic. This is really a fallacy. This is really a fallacy. This is really a fantasy which makes us realize a kiss will definitely cure us. How can it be? A kiss will definitely make you realize that you are in pain, not cure you, because kiss means everything. It doesn't mean that way. But if you are the fan of romantic poetry, I'm so sorry about that, but I don't mean that way. You have to introduce that standard dimensional approach with the recipe. You have to introduce different tastes as well. You just don't have to put it in the oven and just bake it there. You have to put it in the oven and make it with the different dishes and serve with the other dishes, in which it will not be served alone and be victim of everyone. But if you put it right on the faces of everyone to see and realize that it means for everyone, so it will definitely uh, make the modern reader fall for poetry sometimes. But a person who is really a person who is really willing to read poetry, a person who is really good in poetry will definitely not look that way. He will not like that way. He will not like that poetry. I don't like that way. You can see that there are many rhythmic poems you can read and you can write as well. Nowadays, many writers are good and great. For example, you can. But if you said that writers like modern writers like they are only discussing in Urdu, um, उसे मोहब्बत थी मुझे मोहब्बत है. No, it's not like that way every time. Sometimes you have to unfold the story in that way that it will twist the minds, not in the way that our artistic poet will definitely post his or introduce his standards, introduce his approaches as well. But it will not occur if you put it in that way. So poetry is basically written in stanzas. um, and sorry, there you can see that English poetry has really changed the mindset of the people. English poetry has really changed the mindset of the people. You can see it has made us realize that every time you have the different taste of your own standard. When Shakespeare has started writing poetry, there he was with the writer as Sir Samuel John. No, sorry, Doctor. Doc, uh, Doctor. No, he was a physician. Doctor Samuel Johnson, or I have forgotten because we have two Samuel Johnson. Yeah, I have it. Finally, I know. Samuel Johnson, who was also in the Shakespearean era, 1500s. So they believe that those writers have really influenced and really put the words and phrases in a lyrical rhythm. And if we now now coming to the coming generation, not 21st generation, the standard has really changed. People are usually giving the expression with a straightforward mind. There's no dimensional approach. There's no versatile standard. There's no versatile poetry. So, uh, poetry can be written, as you can see, poetry can be written in the form of music. We can compose certain lines into musical notes, and we can sing as well. So, the best poetry, which really makes us uh, sad or inspire, that is a good musical note you can see in music. So we can say that we are in love with that poetry. So love is related to the poetry, and poetry is a part of love, anyways. As you can see, you can read many lyrical, no, many poems of love poems of John Donne, who was a wonderful writer. So now I will try to explain that how poetry really expresses the feel of music. As you can see, the quotation, where words fail, music speaks. You can see that the expression is very simple, but it has many. It has many words. It has created really the scenario that where words speak and where the words are there, will definitely music will there. For example, if I have words, I have good words, I have good poetic words, I have good poetic diction, I have my own dimensional music. Uh, you know, words really matter of your routine. As you can see, the simple words, the old melody, you can see. But when you make a song, it will definitely makes us realize that words really matter. Words are everything. If you have composition, if you have rhythm, if you have tone, if you have taste, so the word speaks. Words communicate it. Since I'm also the student of communication, so I said that words will definitely communicate as well. Because from words you can communicate, you can gesture your words with expression. And the quotation which I'm going to share is with you is that a painter paints pictures on canvas, but musician paints their pictures on silence. You can see that a painter paints pictures on canvas. Simple. It's a simple sentence. But if I relate it to the poetry, there's a there's a painter try to paint uh, with his painting abilities on canvas, the poetry, the composition, the rhythmic with the rhythm which he had because he was or he because he has his own painting skills. So definitely he will. So his painting will speak with the music, and his painting will. How will it speak? It will only speak with the abilities which he had within within his mind. He will definitely compose and attract the people. So it's first episode from my side. I've tried to elaborate two quotations, and if I have time, wait, yeah, I have gone to another quotation which really attracted me. That everything in the universe has a rhythm. If everything in the universe has a rhythm, everything dances. Wow. So you can see that in the universe, in the world, everything has a tone, everything has a rhythm, everything has a composition, everything has a composure, everything has a taste, everything has a language, everything has a dimension, everything has a approach, everything has a reaction, everything has affection. So it explains that everything in the universe has a taste. And if everything has a taste, it will definitely will prosper, develop, attracted. We can realize after understanding the term. Otherwise, if we'll go through that term and put it in the dustbin as well, it is not very simple. But everything in the universe has a taste. Everything in the universe has a rhythm. If universe in the universe we have a rhythm, and it will dance means that everything dances means that everything will be fine, prosperous, will be positive, will be punctual. So in that way we can put positivity in our words, we can put a positivity in a composition, we can put a positivity in our poetry as well. So this way, in that way, we, as you can see, as you can understand, that we can communicate with our language, and the language which we are within our minds are communicating to other persons, up to other people, matters a lot. If we have a good poetic diction, we can put the words in poetry and put it to the word where he can understand and fall for us. And if we can also put it in the musical notes as well, so that everyone could like and comment as well. So in that way, we can put a notion forward and makes everyone realize what really mean by love. So I hope you guys have a wonderful discussion time with me. Please do like and share my page. It's Lost, LOST space TALE, the voices of literary people. You can also join and be a part of my community. If you have some ideas, you can also share with me. I will definitely be obliged and will help you. Uh, Seriously, I'm in holidays nowadays, so I am very interested to put some great literary topics to discuss with everyone. I'm not here to discuss with the trends and uh, some people said that feminism in Pakistan. No, I'm not here to discuss and that kind of trend, because seriously, I believe everyone has their own point of view, his own rights. So everyone should be given full freedom, full rights. I'm not here to put on that, put on a mask and wear myself glasses and put it to the world as filthy as I could, because the filthy content is usually nowadays will be greatly honored and rated with modernity. So I don't like that way, but you can put your comments, put it on. You can see. So we are going now. We will take leave now, and we will be come back tomorrow with another with another topic. Till then, goodbye from Sadi.